There's no amount of people pleasing that's worth losing who you are. Not for the friendship, the relationship, the job promotion, nothing. Because if you have to lose the very essence of what makes you, you, to try and convince someone to see, like, or value who you are, then you have to recognize they don't really want you. They want their version of you. Never lose the beauty of who you are in order to become picture perfect for someone else. Now I need you to stay healthy, be well, and take care of you.
People pleasing isn't kindness, it's survival. It's a learned behavior that kept you safe when love felt conditional. It's a trauma response, which is basically just a bunch of patterns and behaviors that you utilize to keep yourself alive. Coping mechanisms that helped you survive. When you didn't get the attention, the love, the connection that you needed at a young age, your little brain felt threatened. You can't survive as a little human without the love, safety, and sense of belonging to those around you. So what does your genius little brain do? You play nice. You read the room, constantly. Mitigate conflict. You become a chameleon, a sponge. You keep quiet to keep the peace in order to maintain connection to those who are most important to you. Problem is, when you're constantly in a state of survival, you never feel safe. And if you never feel safe, you never get the chance to develop a true sense of self. You don't get to know yourself, to connect with yourself. And you perpetuate this fear of abandonment by continuing to abandon yourself. You and your coping mechanisms become an echo of everyone else's needs, opinions, and desires. But here's the truth. Survival isn't the same as living, and it's sure as hell not fulfilling. At some point, you have to decide. Are you going to keep playing small, keep abandoning yourself just to avoid conflict? Or are you ready to create a life that is safe from within, where you get to decide who you are and what matters most? Because real peace, real belonging comes when you finally stop shape-shifting and start showing up as yourself.
Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Celeste of Her Autonomy. Do you all remember that scene in Waiting to Exhale when Bernadine finally realizes her husband has been using her to build his career while planning to leave her the whole time? And I see this happen to too many women who end up sacrificing themselves for the sake of their relationship. I have that scene imprinted in my brain when Bernadine decides she's done with that man and chooses herself and then sets his car on fire with his clothes. And that's what the death of people pleasing looks like. Now, I'm not saying for you to go do that, but that scene was symbolic as an example of a woman taking her power back. And today I wanted to talk to you about how you can take your power back before you reach that breaking point. I want to be clear about what people pleasing actually is. People pleasing is often a trauma response, specifically fawning, where we prioritize other people's comfort to ensure our own safety, belonging, or to keep the peace. It's not just about being nice and over-accommodating. It's about being complicit in making yourself smaller to appease other people. Every time you sacrifice your peace to avoid conflict, you're making a choice, just not the one that you think you are. Think about Angela Bassett's character in that movie. She is a loving, supporting wife, has a beautiful home, seemingly perfect life, but spent years in a one-sided marriage helping to build a man that is also a cheater. That's not just being submissive, that's performing a role you never auditioned for. When you're constantly people-pleasing, you're not being understanding, you're being docile. You're not being patient, you're accepting treatment you know doesn't sit right with you. You're not keeping the peace, you're giving up your mental and emotional health just to get through another day without conflict. And here's what we don't talk about enough. This performative version of femininity and submission makes us think that accommodation equals worth. We've been taught that being a good woman means being endlessly forgiving, perpetually understanding, constantly flexible, but that's not real femininity. That's a watered down version of womanhood designed to make us easier to mold and manipulate. Or think about Miranda Bailey from Grey's Anatomy. She spent entire seasons performing as the indestructible superwoman who never complains, never needs help, never breaks down until she literally had a heart attack from trying to maintain everyone else's comfort while ignoring her own needs. That's the actual physical cost of performing instead of advocating for yourself. If you think about it, the people-pleasing pattern is always the same. It starts small. You might skip your morning routine to take a call and then end up being someone's free therapist while they trauma dump on you. Hello, I know I'm guilty of that. You might find yourself canceling your plans because it's easier than saying no to staying late at work. You stay quiet in your relationship when something bothers you because you don't want drama. And before you know it, you build a whole life around keeping other people comfortable while your own needs go unmet. Here's what reclaiming yourself actually requires. It requires making decisions without asking anyone's opinion first, right? Think about when Bernadine finally allows herself to be angry. She then trusts her own judgment that she deserves better, and she acts on it. Because taking your power back looks like deciding what's right for you without needing anyone to co-sign it first. The woman stuck in people-pleasing mode calls 5 friends, overthinks everything, waits for someone to tell her it's okay to choose herself, but freedom requires trusting your own judgment. Breaking free from needing constant validation isn't something you do once. It's a daily practice. It's choosing to trust yourself over waiting for approval. It's knowing the difference between asking for genuine advice and looking for permission to do what you already know you want to do. The hard part is getting comfortable with other people's discomfort, okay? People will be uncomfortable when you stop performing for them, when you stop over-explaining, when you stop seeking approval, when you start trusting yourself. It threatens the version of you they got comfortable with. Some people preferred you small, accommodating, always available. Your growth becomes a problem for them. So listen, rebuilding trust with yourself means you have to stop betraying yourself to keep others comfortable. Every time you ignore what you know to keep someone else happy, you're essentially telling yourself your feelings don't matter. Every time you perform instead of advocating for yourself, you're confirming that your truth isn't valuable enough. So how do you actually take your power back after years of people pleasing? Well, first, be honest about what it's been costing you, not just surface level, the real cost, your peace, your mental health, your time, your years, heavy on the years. Second, make one decision without asking anyone what they think. Just one. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Say no without a long explanation. Choose what you actually want instead of what keeps the peace, okay? Third, you have to be okay with other people being uncomfortable with your growth. This isn't optional. People will push back. It's human nature to push back against things that feel uncomfortable. But stand your ground. Even if they say you've changed, so what? If they call you selfish, oh well, let them. Managing their feelings about your growth is not your job anymore. Taking your life back after years of people pleasing and performing for everyone is going to be uncomfortable. But what's worse is looking back and realizing you spent your whole life being a carefully edited version of yourself, designed to make other people comfortable. You have to take the risk and bet on yourself. And I'm going to leave you with this quote. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Jim Rohn. Share with me in the comments your thoughts and if you have ever been in a situation where you had to people please in order to keep the peace. And before you go, please like and hype the video. Comment 1111 down below if you watched to the end. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.